we'll go ahead and turn it over to you, John. Thanks for
Okay.
joining us again.
Yeah, my pleasure. Always happy to do this. Uh, yeah, I was actually thinking about this. When we started doing this, I thought, okay, it could be kind of a time of interaction and exchange, but as the recording light comes on, sometimes that makes it a little difficult. So I'm just going to kind of keep up with this idea of me mostly doing the talking, but certainly if people have questions or at times I may ask for observations, but I feel like with the idea of the whole thing being recorded for other folks to listen to, I guess that's what I'll do, unless anyone has other thoughts. Um, so today I thought we'd kind of go old school. The first session was just some basics of self-compassion, remembering how mindfulness is about overall awareness, whereas self-compassion really kind of goes right to some of the issues that are hard for us. The fact that we are all kind and caring people, but we don't include ourselves in that circle. And then last time was working with difficult emotions from the standpoint of self-compassion. I thought this time we just do some real basic mindfulness stuff, the body scan, because it's so valuable for so many things. For instance, I guess one of the classic things is getting back in touch with the present moment, whatever the present moment, however you define that. But to get out of that spiral of negative thinking that just makes us feel worse and worse. And in that case, it's being used kind of like a resourcing technique. And with resourcing, one of the problems is when we feel really bad, we want something to make us feel better fast. When we're triggered at a 10, we want to get something that'll get us to a 3. And like I say, probably only general anesthesia can do that. But even just doing a real brief body scan can get you from a 10 to a 9.8 to a 9.6. And that just brings you into the moment, frees you of the past and future thinking, but most importantly, it gets you back to who you are. Just a chance to to really get back in touch with your own creativity, your own problem solving in a much better way. Um, and also the really cool thing about the body scan is it allows us to see tension that we may not even know was there. Okay, because tension in the body often means there's some sort of struggle, there's some sort of worry or fear or resistance going on in the mind, and we may not even realize it. And after we do this particular scan, I'd invite you, through the day as you're doing your job and dealing with all the myriad things that have to be taken care of, just periodically drop in your body and see what area is tightest, because often there's one area in your body that's like the little warning light. For some people, it's like the tongue getting pushed up against the roof of the mouth, or a little tightness in the jaw, or just a little more tightness in the shoulders, or the belly tightening. And if you can start to recognize those things just as they're happening, you can realize, hey, it's like a early warning weather report or something. You can start to head that off, maybe take a moment and pause and give yourself some self-compassion and readdress this. But there's some other cool things about the body scan that get more into the mindfulness side of things. And first of all, it just addresses the fact that we tend to be disconnected from our bodies, right? There's this classic line from a James Joyce novel. I think it's a short story, but I don't know. I could never understand James Joyce, so I couldn't read it. But the line, he's describing a character named Mr. Duffy, and he says Mr. Duffy lived a short distance from his body. And I think that describes an awful lot of us, again, really way up in our heads. And the body scan can actually help us sense how that happens. I'll do that in this body scan to maybe make that very explicit. Or we're totally inside our bodies, right? Maybe at war with them, maybe chronic pain or old injuries, trauma. So, and finally, there's just unfortunately so much stuff injected into us by our culture. There's something wrong with our body. We got to change it, diet, feel like we have to do something different. And so we have all these judgments, worries, and fears about this amazing thing that's just trying to do the best it can our whole life. So with the body scan, it actually invites us to come back into our body without all the judgment, and maybe even with a little bit of kindness. And as we saw last time, and as you guys know, it's also really helpful for working with difficult emotions, because when you can see how the emotion shows up in your body, you have a lot more agency about how you're going to be working with that emotion. And, I just kind of rambling on here before I do the scan, but I'm also reminded that, the addiction psychiatrist Judson Brewer has done a lot of work with habit formation and different things. And he's got some really interesting apps for quitting smoking, for eating, for anxiety. And on those apps, he often spends the first few weeks just doing body scans, not trying to change any habit whatsoever, but to actually pay attention to the body. So you actually sense what it's like to smoke as opposed to just being a habit, or sense what it's like to eat or not eat, or whatever the issue happens to be. So lots of cool things. And probably from a mindfulness standpoint, the most interesting thing is as we do the body scan, you can actually feel how you can gather your attention. Your awareness is everything. We often don't realize that, but it's the sounds, it's our body sensations, the thoughts, emotions. Our awareness is actually pretty big. And we can actually gather it and direct it to things that we choose to. And it's pretty easy when maybe we're at work and we're really focused on something, but otherwise we tend to be rather scattered, in our minds. And in the body scan, as we practice this ability to pay attention, to the feet, our mind drifts off, coming back to the feet, that's a skill that you can recognize. And it becomes very valuable when you want to do things like things that you care about, be with the people you love, or do the things you love, and not be scattered to the winds when you do that. So those are just some thoughts about how the body scan is useful. But I'm going to go ahead and do this, and if it's possible, I'd invite you to get into whatever position works for you. I mean, even lying down, if that's an option. Certainly feel free to be as comfortable as you want to be as we do this. This body scan will actually try to cultivate some additional things, maybe some gratitude, and as a way to bring compassion. Yeah, feel free to turn your videos off. Really, again, just that self-care thing. What do you need right now? It is a body scan though, and for some people, coming into the body can be tough. Okay, so you may, again, maybe old injuries or surgeries or trauma or something. So under no circumstances feel like you have to follow along with this. You can always just bail out. You won't hurt my feelings if you sign off on the video thing. Although if April and Becca sign off, will disappear, I guess. But do recognize that. And if I come to an area that's particularly difficult, but you want to stay with the scan, feel free to move to a different area. Okay, and always remember, if an area is difficult, you can put your hand there as a way of just, supporting yourself and comforting yourself. And the self-compassion phrases, oh, this really hurts. Yeah, but I'm not alone. And hey, I'm here for you, So remember, you have a lot of freedom, a lot of flexibility in this. But why don't we go ahead and see what a mid-Wednesday body scan is like, with all the other things kind of jumping at you, all your other obligations. So as always, I like to start just with a few of those deep breaths. Maybe we'll do a session on breath work, but just that big, deep inhalation. Really feel the oxygen coming in, feel the energy of the earth coming into your body. Maybe hold it a bit, and then long, slow release. Maybe even just get all the air out of you with that exhalation, and letting it soften the body, going through the jaw, the neck, the shoulders, the chest as you exhale. You're doing that a couple times, slowly, so you don't hyperventilate. And then letting the breath return to normal. And I'm going to ask you to gather your attention, almost like a searchlight, and bring your attention down to the sensations in your feet. Okay, and really getting curious about what your feet are experiencing right now. And feel free to wiggle and move. You do not need to you do not need to be frozen in position here. As we do this body scan, feel free to shift and move to make yourself comfortable, maybe noticing that process of wanting to move and then shifting, but really coming into an experience of the feet. For instance, the temperature. Your feet warm or cool. Or maybe a sense of pressure, the bottom of the feet pushing against the floor, or the sensation of your toes, feet against your socks or shoes. We're not trying to make anything amazing happen. We're not trying to transform ourselves. We're really just asking our mind to notice what our feet are feeling right now. And just pausing here a moment, because no doubt the mind has already jumped in with what it jumps in with, comments, thoughts, various things. So notice what happens to the sensations of your feet when you catch yourself lost in thought. It's almost like they disappear. And then perhaps notice what happens with the thoughts when you recognize them. And then when you redirect your attention back down to your feet, suddenly the details of the feet pop into focus. And that's that sense of just gathering your awareness, gathering your attention, and choosing to place them down on your feet. And the reward is the present moment. Okay, what your feet are feeling right now. And I also mentioned we're going to see if we can make this a bit of a cultivational practice. Okay, so as you contemplate the sensations in your feet, that's the mindfulness part. Maybe see if there's some gratitude here. You know, really your feet are part of allowing you to accomplish everything you accomplish in life, certainly almost everything. So maybe just a little phrase of gratitude or a feeling of gratitude. Yeah, this is really nice. Thank you. Thank you for helping me. And again, with these cultivational things, sometimes we aren't feeling like gratitude. So that's okay. Just the words are fine. You know, just the intention of appreciating. And unfortunately, for some of us, maybe there's discomfort or pain with the feet. So just seeing if you can allow that to be there and maybe bringing some compassion for that, just because suffering is here. Ah, yeah, this is hurt. There's some pain here. This is suffering, but I'm here for you. May I be kind to myself. And this is a scan, so I'm going to ask you to bring your awareness up to your legs. And just, for instance, if you're sitting on the cushion, just the entire region of your legs, your seat on the chair. And again, first of all, just noticing the sensations. Maybe there's some tingling, sensation of clothes against skin, movement of the air, the pressure sensations associated with sitting or lying down. And how do you know you're sitting? What sensations are telling you that you're sitting here? And remember, just allowing the mind to go where it wants to go. One of the things about the body scan is we're practicing letting go of those thoughts. We're not going to ignore them. We'll attend to them eventually. But we're practicing saying, thank you, not now, to thoughts. Just buying ourselves some freedom, letting them just move off to the side and coming back to the sensations of the legs. As you do that, try to do that just with a little bit of kindness and gentleness. You know, if the inner critic is jumping in, oh, I can't control my mind, I can't do this right, just meet that with a little compassion too, and just gently coming back to the sensations of the legs. There may be something else here too. These are some of the largest muscles in the body, and sometimes they can be holding tension that really doesn't need to be there. So take a moment and see if there is any tightness, and just softening that, choosing to soften. You know, the teacher Pema Chodron has this great line, notice tension, choose ease. So maybe if there's some tension anywhere as we do this body scan, maybe you want to get curious about it first. Oh, why is that there? And then maybe choose to release it if you wish. Because tightness in the body can mean tightness in the mind, and sometimes softening the body can ease some of the things going on in the mind. Now I'm going to have you bring your attention up to the lower back area. And again, this can be a very charged place, so really be gentle here. Remember, you can set this meditation aside. if you wish. But just noticing the sensations here and remembering, feel free to shift if you need to. Okay, if it's getting uncomfortable. But perhaps there's some tightness here, worries or fears, back pain, injuries. And maybe we can start by just noticing the sensations that are here right now, letting go of the thoughts. And if possible, maybe bringing in some gratitude for this area that does work so hard for us. And if there are issues, difficulties here, just bringing in some compassion. Just some kindness for whatever it is I'm feeling. May I hold this with kindness and compassion. Just easing into the lower back. See if you can give up any struggle to try to accomplish anything here. Just letting gravity take over, letting the body take over. And breathing. Now we'll swing around to the front, the abdomen. Okay, this is often a charged area. Again, body image issues or abdominal problems. So again, go easy here, tread lightly. But maybe you can notice, for instance, the beginning of sensations of the breath moving in and out. Maybe sounds. And really explore the abdominal wall here. Is there more tightness here than needs to be here? This is another area where we often hold tension. So again, just noticing what's here, noticing if there's tension and choosing ease. And maybe if it feels right, some gratitude. There's so many organs here, so many things going on. Just appreciating all the work that happens here. And of course, if there are difficulties, just compassion. Even putting your hand over an area if it's difficult. And recognizing you can do that anytime in this practice. Just offering your own support, letting perhaps a visualization of your own kindness and caring through your hand to a part of your body that's difficult. And then I'll invite you to come up into the chest. We can really feel the breath here. Again, maybe the subtle movements, skin against the clothing as the rib cage moves with breathing. The feel of the air coming in and out. It's not about changing the breath. It's just noticing what's here. Maybe noticing how much of the breath is coming in through the ribs and how much through the abdomen. Again, not with the idea of changing anything, but just noticing. We also have our heart here too. So again, maybe just noticing what's here, offering some gratitude for all these organs that work so hard for us. And then just compassion if necessary. Just noting that, discomfort, pain, injury, that's something that all human beings share. Maybe even some words of gratitude and compassion. Maybe just saying to your heart, your lungs, hey, thank you. Thank you for all you've done for me. And I will care for you as best I can. Really, whatever strikes you is meaningful right now. And I'm going to ask you to bring that attention, that searchlight up past the shoulders and down the arms into your hands. Okay, our brain devotes a lot of processing power to our hands. They're so crucial for survival. So you may be able to pick out a lot of details here. And again, feel free to wiggle your fingers a little bit to pull them into focus. Just maybe noticing the thumbs, each finger, air on the back of the hand, moisture in the palm. There's really just a lot of information here. Sometimes your brain automatically filters it out, just because it could be almost too much input. So just experiment here. Just see what happens if you let your mind know that, hey, it's safe. It's okay. You can open up the sensations here. Let me feel my hands. Maybe you'll start to feel all sorts of sparkles and tingles and flashes. There's so much going on here. Maybe not. That's okay. Whatever you're experiencing, know that that's just fine. And again, perhaps some gratitude, compassion if necessary. Just thank you, hands. Appreciate all you've done for me, and I will care for you as best I can. And we'll let go of the hands. And again, see if you can really get a sense of that searchlight moving up now into the neck and shoulders. This is practicing that concentration, that skill of letting thoughts go and gathering your attention where you want it. And the neck and shoulders are certainly another area where our stress famously accumulates, okay? Not only do these areas have to support our arms and the weight of our head, but they seem to be stuck with our tension as well. So again, see if you can look for any tension and just easing that. Sometimes it has to come off in layers. Maybe using the breath as a gentle internal massage. Just the breath reaching up, rising, falling. With each breath softening, easing. The body scan isn't really a relaxation exercise, but it certainly is a chance to do that if you wish. And just letting gravity take over, softening, easing. And once again, offering some gratitude for these areas. And if there's difficulty here, just some compassion too, in whatever way you wish. Even reaching up and giving yourself a bit of massage. Again, really, this is your practice. And then we'll bring our awareness up to the muscles of the jaw. Yet another place where tension can land. And it's not about letting your mouth hang open or anything like that. You can keep your mouth lightly closed, maybe the teeth a quarter inch apart. But just see, once again, if there's more tightness in these muscles than needs to be there. Sometimes moving your jaw back and forth a little bit. And remember, just by noticing what's here, we're giving ourselves some freedom of the busy, chattering mind. And then by softening what's here, we're actually giving ourselves a little bit of ease that actually spread out into the mind and into the body. And then I'm going to have you bring your awareness up to the muscles around your eyes. Again, let's be careful here because sometimes if there's headaches, migraines, this can be a difficult area. So always feel free to go someplace else to release the practice. But if you're here, notice what's going on. Again, sometimes our tightness gets stored here too. Sometimes raising your eyebrows, opening your eyes, closing your eyes a little bit. Just seeing if you can soften the muscles here. I mean, really, when you think about it, people spend hundreds of dollars injecting Botox into these muscles. And a simple body scan can help you ease them and maybe break that feedback loop of tightening in the body, making your mind feel tighter, creating more tightening in the body. So just easing the muscles around the eyes. And as always, maybe some gratitude for where we've covered, the jaw, the face. Really haven't explored the teeth and the tongue, but there's all these things up here in the head that perhaps we can be grateful for. Eyes, ears, sensing them, grateful, and compassion is needed. And then as best you can, see if you can open up that searchlight to the whole body. Really being aware of anything. First of all, notice if tightness has crept in. It may have, and that's okay. That's what minds and bodies do. So just noticing that, again, training yourself to notice these little areas of tightening showing up is very powerful. Just easing that, being aware of the body as a whole, the legs, the torso, the arms, the face. And then you can go ahead and release that practice. Be gently moving, asking your body what it needs right now. Maybe it needs a stretch or a twist, maybe even standing up. And thank you for doing that practice with me. It's always a fun one to lead, and you really don't need guidance for that. It really is something that you can just pause even for 15 seconds and check the muscles here, here, here. Notice what's happening, and then settle that in and maybe come back into the next moment with maybe a teeny bit more ease and a little bit more creativity and options. I'll include a handout. It's kind of a nerdy handout. It's more for the mindfulness side of things, and it talks about why it's such a foundational practice. But there will be some links to some body scans. The ones at UCLA, Diana Winston has a great 3-minute one just to practice, and then a 15-minute one for sleep. And then there's a whopping 43-minute one with Christopher Germer from the Center for Mindful Self-Compassion that really, most body scans are really more about the sensations and noticing the mind wandering and coming back. But the longer one really is a gratitude and compassion scan too, which is kind of what I did. And we're getting close to the end. Any questions or challenges? Sometimes doing a body scan can be a difficult thing. Any observations, you guys? All right. Well, once again, thank you for giving me this period of time. I hope you found it worthwhile. As always, if you have questions or anything, feel free to reach out to April or Becca. But I'll turn it over to you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here again. These are really helpful and really meaningful. So we appreciate you joining us twice a month to share this. And we'll be back. I forgot to look at the date before I jumped on. November 3rd will be the next time that we're together. So we look forward to having you back.
Okay. Does anybody, anybody on this have anything particular they'd want to cover or anything? I got lots of stuff. Okay. Well, again, if there is something specific, you guys let me know, but I'm sure we'll do something. So, all right. Well, thanks again, everybody. Good luck with your body and your body again. Sure. Bye-bye.